mentioned before, we have mat boards stored in two different places. We have new mat board back here, and then we have scraps of mat board under the table and some leaning that couldn't fit under here. Because my piece is small, I'm going to grab a piece of mat board from underneath the table. Hello and welcome to the portion where we cut down your mat board. I have my measurements here that we will need, and I have a straight cut blade that you will have to ask me for. I keep them in my desk, and there are two types of blades. This one cuts a straight cut. Once you get it, you and I probably will inspect it, but you want to inspect the blade just to make sure there aren't any nicks or divots or it's too dull. That will affect the cutting of the mat board. It might chip it or fray it as you cut. I'm going to set these aside momentarily along with my piece of mat board. I'm going to take this piece of metal here that's actually used to slide along here, the metal piece, and it's used for measurement. This ruler runs from 1 to 20. Now my biggest measurement is 15 1/4. So I just unscrew this, unscrewing it towards me. I'm going to keep it in the same direction and slide it all the way up to 15 1/4. That is my biggest measurement. However, this only runs up to 20. If you have a measurement longer than 20, then you will need to measure it out actually on the back of your mat board prior to bringing it over here. And I would create a line as your indicator, not just a dot for a measurement. I'm going to take my do not throw out cardboard and place it underneath this metal lever. It's a slide that the blade slides under. And I'm going to place my mat board face down, so this is the back, in place against my measurement, which is 15 1/4, and against this slider, this little ledge here. I'm going to take my blade, and long ago these sliders broke off because somebody wasn't being careful, but we have enough of one where on one side where it does slide. This is a harder board to cut or a harder blade to cut with because it's straight, so you need to use a little bit of muscle. I stand off to the side, and then you have to kind of pull through at the end. I'm going to recycle this piece and then turn my mat board, set it to my next measurement, which is 12 3/4. Set it in place again. I'm just going to nudge it. The other thing that you want to check for is just to make sure that the cardboard didn't move around too much, that it's not over this little trench. Put it back in place and set my blade on the slider. And again, I'm going to pull. I'm standing off to the side. And put this in the recycling bin, and we should be ready to go to our next step, which is measuring a border.